Ramon in the NBA. This is kind of when he starts to roll. He's on that roll again. Ramon, what's happening?
Hey, Tony. Yeah, pretty beat here. I mean, staying up all night watching tennis last night. Man, what a match! Andy Murray, he's the story right now with his massive comeback against Kokonakis, or should I say, Chokonakis. Murray comes back from two sets down, wins the match. Tony, it lasted 5.5 hours. It ended at 4:05 in the morning in Melbourne. Murray comes back and wins last night. And I also watched Taylor Fritz get beat by Alexei Popirin uh, in a match, and Popirin was a 7-1 underdog in that match. So pretty tired right now, but good matches, and I wasn't going to bed. Just prepping for the show and watching incredible match. Even after we got off the air, the match, the Murray match was still going here on the West Coast. Ended about 8:15 in the morning. So just wild play, great action.
Exactly. All right, Ramon. Tonight we're going to college basketball, the Pac-12 in action. As you know, on Thursdays we have Colorado here hosted in Washington. Colorado here laying 9.5, total 142.
Yeah, it seems like a big number, right, Tony? But things are so regimented. Really, we think of the Pac-12 as having some, wild results here and there, and yeah, maybe we do, but it doesn't always happen where it's wild in an upset. Take these two teams. For example, they opened the season way back in I believe, one of the earliest openers, maybe the earliest opener, I'm sure, in conference history. Washington won against Colorado at home 73-63 by 10 points. That was back on December 4th, as I said. So the conference play got opened quite a while ago. Now that you look at it, I mean, we're already a month and a half later here. Both teams are 3-5 in the conference and have identical 11-8 straight up records. But Washington coming into Colorado, I expect the Buffs to return the favor. Look, they have identical records. You'd think maybe it'll be a close game. Throw in some home court. Maybe Colorado's a 3 or 4 point favorite. I think the indication, the fact that Colorado is a 9.5 point favorite, is a reflection of what might just happen in this game. Maybe you're expecting a close game, but maybe not. What will happen here? You got Colorado really underrated defensively, at least on the surface. The metrics would tell you that the Buffaloes are 18th in adjusted defensive efficiency in the country. So I like their matchup here with Washington, and I'd like them to get it by double digits. You just had Colorado, they just swept the Oregon teams at home. They beat Oregon, by 20 points or something. It was 68-48 or 68-45. They also beat Oregon State 62-42. There you see that top notch defense of Colorado, allowing just in their opponents to in the 40s there, as they've won both of their conference home games so far. Meanwhile, Washington is 0-3 on the conference road, including a couple of recent losses on their Arizona trip. You know how it works in the Pac 12, Tony. Most of the time, you go in and play the two teams in those general locales. You play the Oregon teams, the Washington teams, the Bay Area teams, the SoCal teams, the Arizona teams, and then you got to throw in, of course, the Buffaloes and the Utah Utes there. But that's how it kind of works in the Pac-12. You go in expecting to play a couple of games. So Colorado hosting Washington, and then the Cougars will come in, and then Washington will, make their trip. So they lost last year the game here in Colorado. Now, even though Washington has won 3 of the last 4 meetings, Colorado has been a tough place for them to play. They lost last year's game here, 78-64. And what was the spread on that day? 9.5. So I think they can clean it up. There were 36 turnovers in the season opener, and Colorado, they just seem to protect the ball a lot better at home than they do on the road. They play at a little bit of a faster pace. Both teams do play a little bit up in pace. Colorado, they do shoot 44%, including 32% from three. They average 73 points a game. Probably going to need a little bit more here to get this number, but I think they can do it against Washington. I'm going to take them to lay 9.5 points. I like their top players in the game, including KJ Simpson, certainly one of the best players in the conference. He'll be the best player on the floor in this game. I like him better than uh, Keon Brooks of Washington, probably their best player. Certainly a pretty good player, but also I like Tristan Da Silva, Javon Hadley for the Buffaloes. Meanwhile, Washington may have more balance, but I think Colorado has the better players up top. But I don't want to slight Washington's other good players like Braxton Mia and Noah Williams. So give them some credit as well. But you have a Colorado team that number 22 in the country, also in rebounding. So that's something where in that game against UCLA, that part of that 17-0 run that the Bruins had, Colorado just was not getting the rebounds on the road, and I expect it to be different here in Boulder, by the way. So a little bit tougher trip, I think, for Washington. And I think the perception is, oh, just take these points. I mean, 9.5 can't go wrong. Closely rated teams, and Washington already won by 10 points. But I think a 20-point swing is quite possible here between those two games, a month and a half later, if you will, from that Washington 10-point win back on December 4th. So I'm going to take the Buffaloes tonight, lay these points against the Huskies.
All right, well, says go ahead and take Colorado, lay the 9.5 here against Washington. Boy, I was watching this the Washington California game. Watch it on replay. Man, they really labored through that game. They almost lost that home game to Cal. Didn't cover the 10-point line. Even though they shot the ball well, they turned the ball over 15 times. Turnovers has been the issue here for this team. Double-digit turnovers in just about all of their Pac-12 games this year. In that game against Colorado, 18 turnovers.
And that's what we're seeing. I mean, you look at Colorado, you look at Washington. Of course, they're winning the home games. They end up prevailing in that game. Of course, it ended up going into overtime. But so far, they're 0-4 straight up on the road this season. Meanwhile, Colorado 8-1 straight up at home. Now that doesn't reflect necessarily in this spread here, but it just goes to show you kind of the discrepancies that you're getting with these two teams here, with the home and road dichotomy. I think is what we might see in this one. Playing those games as Washington did against ASU, against Arizona, was their first road game since December 9th when they played at Gonzaga and lost by 17 points. In Seattle. So for them, for right now, for Washington, I mean, they could stay within this number, but these are the type of swings you see. I feel in the Pac-12 when you get into these, the road trips, the way they have it set up for forever now in the Pac-12. I mean, that's the way they've operated. So even that game, they ended up losing at Oregon State earlier in the season. So when they played back, that was
that's the
original. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. With it was December 1st, where that was the earliest opener. But kind of weird how they used to never do it this way, Tony.
They were last to do it. It's because of their partner. Like once we started getting Big Ten Network, SEC Network, all those networks, they started filtering these early conference games once college football season finished the regular season, just because obviously they need content, right? So Pac-12 was kind of late to the party there with these early conference games that we're starting to see right now. But, they had 7 non-conference games, right? So, I mean, how many non-conference games do you really need to really start conference? Why not go ahead and start it earlier? So I see no problem with that. You got, and of course, so Colorado, as we talked about here at home, has pounded their past 2 home opponents. They just gave a pounding to, looks like it was to Oregon and Oregon State. Colorado had that tough time in LA getting pounded at the USC, UCLA, but they're back home where they've done their best work there and just coming up poundings. I mean, by 27 against Oregon, 20 against Oregon State. So they got it done there. And of course, that one, I was on the wrong end of that Arizona State game on December 1st. I remember that one. 20 turnovers in that game. That's That's the thing that bothered that with Colorado in that game. But anyway, we got the Buffs here minus 9.5 against Washington. This one to have a start time here of a 9 Eastern. I made it on to ESPNU. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com right now for today's action. Great results here. NBA, 1,248 units of profit in the NBA. As we told you, Ramon's starting to heat up here in the association. Really doing good work here up here over the past 30 days there. And of course, tonight we've got NBA board as well. Game going on in Paris as we speak. 4 more on the card here. Bulls up to a 9-point lead early on. Actually, late in the first quarter there against Detroit. NBA on the board. Lots of college hoops, hockey as well. What do you have going on over at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, my action in the NBA, like Mindy said, we were just clicking. We ended up with one of our only so far this year, Tony, out of the first 17 or 17 shows now, but 16 shows as of yesterday. We've only had 3 subpar days, and one of them was yesterday, and we just couldn't get enough plays together. We weren't in that agreement zone, if you will. We weren't meshing, and today, hopefully, that'll be the turnaround because we were clicking on all the games and we went down the NHL card, basically agreeing on every side. So here's the thing. I mean, even though I don't have a package in the NBA, I just want everyone to take note. If they didn't watch the show and they want to go get those picks, they can pick up our morning steam package. If you look at the handicapper leaderboards, Tony, so far in the NBA this year, right now, is basically me and Mindy and the morning steam team. So we never duplicate those plays. We don't say, oh, I like the one that me and Mindy agreed on. No, we actually are putting different play. We might agree on the side, and then I'm playing the total, or vice versa. And then Mindy, same thing. We might agree on the total. Mindy's playing the side. So on the handicapper leaderboard right now in the NBA, at the top, it's Mindy and me and Team Steam. So we are really seeing the NBA together. I don't have a package there myself, but we do have a 5-pack of plays together in the NBA tonight. My package right there, you see, my featured package is in the Australian Open, Tony. Watching the action last night, I was handicapping. It's tough because I'm not going to be giving out any, $2, $3 favorites, and probably shouldn't because of some of the upsets we've seen so far over there. Poppy was not the only 7-1 underdog to score in the second round yesterday. So I have a 3-pack of plays today in the Australian Open. You're going to get one favorite, one underdog, and one match that's listed as a pick'em. So I think that's a pretty good balance of plays. That's my featured package. Also, I do have a NHL package not listed here, but I do have a 3-pack of games up on that huge NHL card right now. You could also pick that one up for $30. It is loaded up into the system, so you could pick that one up as well. As far as the college board is concerned, I'm still going over this massive card, even with just a few hours to go. Throwing in some clunkers there in college, so not sure. I could be volume heavy, but it might be relying on some late action, some late line movement here on this college board today, because kind of flatlining it a little bit with my college plays, and I don't want to stop firing on college basketball. I feel like I have an advantage over the books with college basketball, but maybe just not hitting it like I should. So we'll see how it comes out. But I do expect to be in action on this college card. So tennis and hockey are the feature, but Minnie and I got that 5-pack together. Yeah, we also have a package together in hockey and in college basketball. We agreed on several games also. So Team's got a lot of games loaded up as well. Please go back and check out the videos or just buy the packages. I know we have some subscribers that just, I guess they can't watch the show every day, and I get that. So what they do is purchase the package over there, and the Team Steam is putting together some pretty solid returns. Like I said, Tony, out of 16 shows that are in the books, if you will, we have so far this year 12 profitable days, 3 down days, and 1 we went 7-7, lost the juice. So when Mindy and I put our as she said, our handicapping minds together, things have been rolling pretty good. So make sure you tune into the morning steam. There's a lot of games. I mean, when we're talking about a day like today, we had a heavy volume, and might be too much to go back and look at all those videos or watch the whole show. And what you can do is subscribe to the packages over there at Tony'sPicks.com. But use that promo code TonyT at checkout, because we don't want you paying full price when basically we give away the games for free on the show. Just the charge is there, kind of an administrative fee for Mindy and I. It keeps us on the air. We appreciate it, and that's what we're doing. Saw Latifah mentioning the Discord in there, and we're just getting a feel for how we're going to run that. But we're already getting some, couple dozen people already in there, and it's only been up not even, about 24 hours or so. So I think we'll have a pretty good, build a pretty good community in there as well. So appreciate it, Tony. Tennis and hockey right now are my main focuses, but I will be in action in some more late steam coming in.
That's right. Get on board with Ramon over at Tony's Picks. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off, and you'll land right here on Ramon's page. You can get on board with his Australian 3-pack tonight. Australian Open in action here. Tennis, the majors have begun. We're in January. It's hot in Australia. I think we had a heat delay the other night. So get on board there with Ramon. Also with that 3-pack from NHL or the longer-term passes, you can get on board with Ramon here. You want to try him out for a 7-day pass. You'll get all of his premium plays for 7 days. All his NBA, all his NHL, college hoops. Remember, the NFL plays here on Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, the peripheral sports like Australian Open and UFC. Bellator sometimes as well. So check it out and get that 7-day pass. Use that promo code at checkout. You'll save the 20% off. All right, Ramon, as always, great having the show. I know we put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks Ramon. The Discord is functioning well. Lots of people in there, requesting. Well, they will start to request plays as we move throughout the week here for the show. But a lot of people exchanging, again, a life of its own. Putting their bets in, putting their picks in there, and people coming back and forth. People needing help on a lot of different topics. So again, as we said, it will form as we move forward.
Yeah, and you look at our 1 day off, if you will, from the morning steam. We're able to address any questions or maybe give out a lot more picks in there, kind of take over for what we don't do on Fridays, and that's put together a show. We've got to get 1 day off here. It's a rule, a law, Tony. I think an internet law. You don't get a day off, but we take one. And my social media play tonight is going to be in the game between St. Mary's and Pepperdine. Going to be going to the West Coast Conference and take a look at that one. So log on to Twitter and get my social media pick. Don't forget also my embedded videos here on Tony'sPicks.com. You can catch my sponsor video, if you will. I've got a play for you in that one. That one's going to come to you in the game between Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. So you can pick up my sponsored play there, another video to watch where I give a little breakdown as well, and also plug our fine sponsor and also our leaderboard show. Tony runs about anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes where I just talk about the leading handicappers, talk about who's hot, show the handicapper leaderboards, and talk about their records and how well they're doing. And my pick to you in that video comes to you in the Florida International and Texas El Paso game. So watch that video as well. It's embedded on the site. That one also appears on YouTube. So got a pick for you there if you can't get enough free picks. And hey, on this college basketball card, we can get all the picks we can together because it's a massive, massive card today. I'm looking at my sheets here. I got 4 sheets of rotation on this card today. So volume won't be a problem. It's the selectivity that I need to improve on, I would say here, Tony, as far as my college basketball. But I love college basketball so much. Never going to stop firing on college basketball, Tony.
There you can see the sponsored pick here on the homepage under free pick of the day. If you click the premium pick tab, there's a leaderboard, a breakdown, a review from Ramon as well with the picks. So a couple of free picks on the side every day from Ramon. So check it out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Don't forget that Discord, guys. We put together the Discord for you. And Ramon is one of the admins in there, and Mindy's featured in there. I'm in there as well. So go ahead and post your picks, post your requests for the morning steam. If there are plays that you want covered, Of course, they will have it ready prepared for you here for the show. Of course, they're back on Saturday. Remember that huge monster Saturday college basketball card, so get your requests in so they can cover them on the show. Remember, make sure you find the Morning Steam folder to put those plays in. The Tony's Picks folder is more or less just a general post there. So there you go. So go ahead and check it out and get signed up. By the way, you can sign up to our Discord by clicking the link into the chat, in the live chat. You'll find it there. So go ahead and get signed up and be part of the community there at Discord. We have a lot of plans for that Discord. You wait till you see what's coming up in the future. All right, Ramon, it's always great having your show. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk with you again on Friday.
Yep, we'll see all the team steam on Saturday, but we're back tomorrow with another Game Day Picks.
There you go. Ramon here on Game Day Picks. Guys,